How on earth does Perplexity afford to give away 1 year subs? This is just them juicing their numbers. Most of the AI companies are hemorrhaging money because it's a race to get as many users as possible to show that you will at some point have a sustainable business. Okay, let's rock and roll. And I'm going to be talking through the AI news and updates of the day. We have a handful of different stories, nothing major, but we're doing a catch up from what's been going on over this weekend. I've also been away for the last week. I was streaming live from an Airbnb, which several people on my live stream said, "Oh, are you in your grandma's cottage?" Because it did look very grandma-y. But no, I was on the Isle of Wight in an Airbnb, and it was very nice. But I'm back, and we're back to full schedule, so I'll be doing the live every single morning around 10 a.m. UK time, as well as putting the clips onto YouTube and writing up the newsletter every single day. If you are not subscribed on YouTube, please do. We are pushing towards 10,000 subscribers. We should be there, I'm hoping, before the end of the year, because 10,000 seems like a big chunky number, so I'd be happy with that. Let's hop into the news of today. Probably the biggest thing is going to be the deal between AWS, that's Amazon Web Services, and OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT. So OpenAI have been making deals with pretty much everybody. Pretty much everyone. Microsoft now own 27% of OpenAI after the switch to for-profit. And OpenAI also has deals with NVIDIA, Oracle, now AWS as well. So they are putting out many different opportunities so that they have a varied platform moving forward. This deal with AWS is to do with cloud hosting. So this means OpenAI are now going to be able to deploy ChatGPT on, I'm going to list these all. We've got Microsoft's own Azure servers. That's where ChatGPT was born, and that's where it was hosted initially, but they're moving away from that purely Microsoft partnership. The first move they made was getting a deal with Oracle for cloud hosting, tied up with NVIDIA. Now they're moving on to AWS as well. Basically, they're putting ChatGPT and running their services off multiple different cloud hosts, multiple cloud servers all over the world, which from a diversification point of view makes a huge amount of sense. And of course, this means more money going to NVIDIA. So we'll probably see one of these other circular relationships. So let's have a quick look. AWS and OpenAI announced multi-year strategic partnership. Partnership will enable OpenAI to run its advanced AI workloads on AWS infrastructure starting immediately. The multi-year strategic partnership empowers OpenAI with immediate and increasing access to AWS's world-class infrastructure, servers basically, for their advanced AI workloads. AWS is to provide OpenAI with Amazon EC2 Ultra servers featuring hundreds of thousands of GPUs and the ability to scale to tens of millions of CPUs for its advanced generative AI workloads. It's interesting they mentioned CPUs. This is a $38 billion commitment over the next couple of years at least. It's a multi-year, we don't have the exact number, and it's going to be comprising hundreds of thousands of state-of-the-art NVIDIA GPUs. This kind of circular economy that we keep seeing has got some people worried, and I think with good reason. OpenAI will say we're going to be running our services on this cloud platform, whether it is Oracle, whether it is AWS. Then Oracle, and in this case Amazon, then turn to NVIDIA and say, hey, NVIDIA, we need to order more chips. So the money flows from OpenAI to the cloud platform to NVIDIA. NVIDIA builds these chips, but then this is where it gets weird because NVIDIA are also investing into OpenAI. So this money starts to go in a circle. This happened with Oracle a month or two ago, and the share value of Oracle rocketed. Larry Ellison, the CEO, briefly became the richest man on earth. I think it's back to Elon Musk now. This is the second time we've seen this circular deal being put into place. We haven't had any news of NVIDIA piping more money into OpenAI, but I would not be surprised if we have something similar where we hear about this circular arrangement, which has people worried that this is a bubble because the money is just going round. This is how finance works. You raise money to pay for services. It then loops back to OpenAI, and OpenAI are not showing high enough revenue or profit to justify this. That's where people become a little bit scared, and I think there is reason for that. So this is another deal, another cloud platform, another indication that OpenAI are not tied to Microsoft. They are happy to work with other people. They are getting as much compute and capacity as humanly possible from anywhere they can. It also ties the financial markets and the future of artificial intelligence even more to the future of OpenAI. This is becoming increasingly a one-horse race. And if OpenAI does not deliver, the market as a whole for artificial intelligence and the market globally especially because they're going public next year, could be in trouble. This is not financial advice, but just something that we need to be aware of. There's a lot of money being pushed into this with no real plans for future profit yet. And we need to see that profit at some point to justify all of this spend. I'm going to hop over to questions. Good morning, everybody. Fictive, been following you for a while, never interacted, but I need your answer on this. Have you heard of BMAD technology, methodology? What do you think of it? BMAD, AI-driven agile development, revolutionary AI-driven agile. Nope, never heard of it. What's it for? A breakthrough method for agile AI-driven development. I have not heard of this. It has a lot of stars on GitHub, 20,000 stars, which is solid. 3K forks, Brian Madison. I don't know enough about this to comment, but it looks interesting. BMAD Core amplifies human potential through specialized AI agents. Unlike tools that replace thinking, BMAD Core guides reflective workflows that bring out your best idea and AI's full capability. The BMAD Core powers the BMAD method, probably why you're here. You can also use BMAD Builder to create custom agents, workflows, and modules for any domain. This is actually similar to what PewDiePie is doing. He's built himself a fleet of kind of advisors, agentic advisors on a local LLM, which we'll talk about in a moment. This looks like an agent framework to me and an AI-driven agile development framework. If you're asking, is it any good? I would say deploy it. Try it out. This is always going to be the case with agentic systems. Like mess around with it basically and see if it works for your particular workflows and your particular requirements. That is going to depend on what you're using it for generally. It looks like it's open source. What's the license? MIT license. So you can go nuts, mess around with it and see if it works for you. So to deal without restriction, including without limitation, the rights to use, copy, modify, merge, publish, distribute, sublicense and sell copies of the software. So definitely go and play around with it. Sorry that I don't know enough about it myself. Unfortunately, there is so much to keep up with in AI. Even I, doing a daily show every day, can't keep up. I want to highlight a couple of freebies or interesting things that you might want to look out for. First of all, MCPs are turning 1 year old on November 25th. MCP's Model Context Protocol is a technology we've been using to hook our AI systems to other pieces of software. Think of it a little bit like an API, but specifically between AIs. I know it's an oversimplification, but it will do. Anthropic are holding a birthday party. Anthropic and Gradio are bringing together thousands of developers for 17 days of building MCP servers and agentic apps. If you want to get involved, there are $500,000 worth of free credits. So if you participate, you'll get given free credits from Claude to build with, and about $17,000 worth of cash prizes. So this starts on November the 14th and it runs until November the 30th. You can participate not only to try to win, but also to get the free credits. So the hackathon is track 1, building MCP servers, or track 2, building with MCP. So using existing MCPs out there to build something cool. I'd say the first one's a bit more technical, the second one's a bit more consumer focused. You will get $250 of modal credits for all, and you will get $25 of Hugging Face API credits for all as well. You'll also get an 11 Labs creator plan. That's pretty cool. For the first 5,000 participants, and 25 Samba Nova credits. I don't know what Samba Nova is, but you get a bunch of free stuff. So definitely check this out. It's hosted on Hugging Face, but it is sponsored by Anthropic and Gradio primarily. I will put the link in the newsletter if you want to participate, or if you just want to get access to the free credits and build something cool, definitely have a look at this. It starts 10 days from now. Second thing I wanted to point out, this is very specific. If you are in India, you can get ChatGPT for free. Specifically, ChatGPT Go for free. ChatGPT Go is a subscription level between the free level and the normal $20 a month version of ChatGPT. And I think it costs, I want to say about $8 a month or something like that. It depends where you are. They launched it in India, and I think it's rolled out to other places. I believe Indonesia and some other countries. However, what they're doing right now, and it starts today, Yep, starts today. They're giving free versions of ChatGPT Go out if you live in India. So OpenAI is making ChatGPT Go available at no cost for 12 months for eligible users in India who sign up during a limited time promotional period starting November the 4th. The promotion is available now for redemption from ChatGPT Web or the Google Play Store and will be available to redeem next week in the Apple App Store. So if you are a current ChatGPT Go subscriber on web or Android via the Google Play Store, do not cancel your subscription. We'll automatically redeem the promotion for you later this week. Check out the newsletter and I will put the link for how you get access to this deal. It looks like you need to be new to ChatGPT Go. You need to be in India. You can do it. Oh, I'm sorry. You can do it if you're already a ChatGPT Go subscriber. You can still get a free version. I will give the link so you can go and find out how to redeem it, because it's going to depend on what you have already and if you're using Google Play or Apple App Store. So it's a bit complicated, but it does mean a free version of ChatGPT Go. So if you're not in India, you're thinking, oh, I don't care about this. Why should I care about this? What I think is really interesting is that they launched ChatGPT Go 2 months ago, and now they're immediately giving it away for free. The other company that gives away free premium is Perplexity. Perplexity are I don't know anyone who pays for Perplexity because they're always giving away a free version of it. The most easily accessible one is you just need to have a PayPal account. If you have a PayPal account, you can get Perplexity Pro for free for 12 months. It looks like OpenAI are moving in this direction. What I think they're doing is they want more paid users on their books. They are preparing for an IPO. They're about to go public. Next year, maybe 2027, they need to start showing cash. They need to start showing some kind of profit, or at least higher revenues. With these deals, and this is exactly the same with Perplexity, you can say that these people are paying subscribers. They have 12 months for free. And yeah, sure, most of them, 80% of them are going to cancel their subscriptions, of course. But it still allows you to mark them up as paying subscribers because they've put in credit card details. And in 12 months' time, they will be a paying subscriber. So I think they're doing something similar here. They are bumping paid subscriber figures. It's a kind of cheeky way to do it because most people are going to cancel this before 12 months is up. If you buy this through the Apple App Store, for example, I'm sure most people will purchase it and then immediately cancel their subscription, but they'll still get access to it for 12 months for free. This is a way of juicing the numbers, which if you are preparing for an IPO, you need to start to show that there's a sustainable business model, which is something OpenAI need to get in place over the next couple of years. So I think this might be connected to that. Great news if you're in India, because you get free access. If you don't have Perplexity Pro for free, definitely go and check that out. If you Google PayPal Perplexity Pro, it is literally the first result. Get a full year Pro completely free when you connect your PayPal account and choose a valid billing method. So again, Perplexity are just using this to juice their numbers so they can go to their investors and say, hey, we have 100,000 extra paying subscribers. Not really, they're just using their free offer, but still, this is how we do it. Okay, let me hop over to some questions. How do you spell it? Perplexity, Perplexity. Perplexity is well worth getting, especially because it's free. The main reason being, if you have a Perplexity Pro subscription, you get access to all of the other models. So you get access to ChatGPT 5, Claude 4.2, Grok, Gemini, etc. You get access to all of those Pro models via your Perplexity subscription. It's a weird way to get access to all of the premium subscriptions, but using one subscription, and it's free for 12 months. So definitely check that out. How on earth does Perplexity afford to give away 1 year subs? So again, this is just them juicing their numbers. Most of the AI companies are hemorrhaging money because it's a race to get as many users as possible to show that you will at some point have a sustainable business. Remember also that they're training on our information. So you have more people in, you can get a better model. So everybody's aiming for momentum right now rather than profit. I'm sure they are. It's advertising, but nobody wants to pull the trigger on that yet, because whoever pulls the trigger first on putting adverts into their AI is going to get absolutely crucified, but it's coming. If I have zero dev experience, can I learn to code, vibe code, and image gen mobile app? Yes. I would start in AI Studio. This is Gemini and Google's coding tool. If you go to aistudio.google.com/apps, you're going to click on build. The build mode is basically a vibe coding tool. You'll see a chat box and you can describe your idea. The reason I recommend this is you get instant access to Nano Banana, which is arguably one of the best image models right now. This is a really cool way to play around and prototype your idea. If you want to make a mobile app though, I'd probably recommend Replit. It's pretty good with apps. What I would say though is start in Gemini Studio, Google AI Studio, and prototype the idea totally for free inside AI Studio. Connect it to Nano Banana, see if you can build something that is close to what you are thinking. And if so, that's your prototype, and then you go over to Replit and you can build it up into an actual mobile app. The other thing you could do, it's a little more technical, but you can use Cursor. Last Saturday's newsletter issue was about this. Cursor just released Cursor 2.0, and there's a whole slew of updates, but the most important one is they have added an agent screen, which is literally just a chat box, and it takes away all of the complexity. You can't see the files. It's just you and the chat box with you saying, hey, this is the app I want to build, this is what I want it to do, and then it will respond and you go back and forward. So it's a lot more like Lovable and Bolt. So it's a very long answer to basically say, yes, you can 100% learn to code and vibe code an image gen mobile app. The first time you do it, or the first iteration, probably won't be good, and that's fine. It just becomes a learning process, and once you start to vibe code, that learning process kicks in automatically. So it's 100% doable. Thanks so much for the help. This is our AI Studio, not AI Studio for a mobile app. It will be good for a web app. But if you want a mobile app, you're going to have to move it into the kind of languages of mobile apps. For iOS, it's going to be Swift. You're going to probably move it into Xcode, which is Apple's development environment. You want to build everything first and then move it into Xcode for the testing stage. What I would say, talk to ChatGPT, talk to Claude and say, hey, I want to build an image gen mobile app. I have no idea what I'm doing. Just tell it that and say, what kind of tools can I use? What are the steps? What are the best practices? What are the pitfalls that I could run into? And have it give you an action plan. The AIs are very good at helping us to use the AIs, if that makes sense. So you use Claude or ChatGPT to help you come up with a plan, and then you go into your vibe coding tool. If you're building a mobile app, though, you're going to need to choose the right tool. AI Studio won't be great for mobile either. So you're going to want to use Bolt or Replit or Cursor. Chat with your AI and it should be able to help you with that. When will Gemini 3 be released? I don't know. I'm in a group with lots of content creators on TikTok and Instagram, and every single week there's a false alarm. Oh my God, here it comes. Gemini 3 is on its way. But that's been happening for the last month or so. So I don't know. The best person to pay attention to is Logan Kilpatrick. Logan Kilpatrick is the lead product for Google AI Studios and the Gemini API. He's very active on Twitter. He acts like Sam Altman, but for Gemini. Logan will often tease something that's coming up. Like it might be something like an emoji of a banana or something like that. And then people freak out about Nano Banana. The first tease will definitely be from Logan. He knows how to play an audience, unfortunately. So not everything he says will be verifiable, but that's where we all watch for the news of what's coming. So definitely check out Logan. Google aren't in any rush, unlike a lot of other model makers. Google kind of knows they're in a decent position moving forward. They have a lot of cash. Speaking of Google, should we have a look at this? Yeah, let's have a look at this. X says, did you have no dev experience? So I'm not a coder at all. However, I know some Python. I've been making web pages and WordPress and stuff like that. I've been able to make very basic plugins and stuff like that. So I'm comfortable around code, but I'm not in any way a developer. So vibe coding for me has been fantastic. I'm more of a business person than I am a coder. Whenever I did software projects before, I'd always hire coders, but I had enough knowledge to be able to explain to them what I wanted and to understand what they were doing, but nowhere near enough to be able to do it myself. So vibe coding for me has been fantastic. I can just build any idea I have, I can get it out and make it a reality, which is mind-blowing when you're an entrepreneur. Okay, let's hop on over to Google. This is really interesting. We haven't seen anything like this before, but Google pulled a model called Gemma from AI Studio after Senator Blackburn accuses the model of defamation. It's a hell of a headline. So Google says it has removed Gemma from its AI Studio after a US senator accused the AI model of fabricating accusations of sexual misconduct against her. In a letter to Google CEO Sundar Pichai, Senator Marsha Blackburn, a Republican from Tennessee, said that when Gemma was asked, has Marsha Blackburn been accused of rape, it responded by falsely claiming that during the 1987 state Senate campaign, a state trooper alleged that Blackburn had pressured him to obtain prescription drugs for her and that the relationship involved non-consensual acts. None of this is true, says Blackburn, not even the campaign year, which was actually 1998. While there are links to news articles that supposedly support these claims, she said, the links lead to an error page in unrelated news articles. There has never been such an accusation, there is no such individual, and there is no such news story. So we know that AI can hallucinate. What's interesting here is that a senator has found a hallucination about herself specifically and has pressured Google. She wrote a public letter to the CEO, and then Google capitulated and pulled the model from AI studios. That's what's new here, because LLMs do make stuff up. When they do not have certain information, they will hallucinate. There are ways to basically make an AI say whatever we want. What's interesting here is that one person has got offended by a hallucination, has gone to the CEO, and the CEO has said, okay, we're pulling that model. So hallucinations are a real problem, absolutely, and this is a horrendous hallucination. This is a real problem, but for them to pull a whole model just seems like an overreaction to me. There was a statement on Twitter. It says, Gemma, the model, is available via an API and was also available via AI Studio, the developer tool. In fact, to use it, you need to attest your developer. We've now seen reports of non-developers, the senator, trying to use Gemma in AI Studio and ask it factual questions. We never intended this to be a consumer tool or model. Access to Gemma is no longer available on AI Studio. It is still available to developers through the API. So we have models which have less safeguards and less guardrails because they are used inside applications that we build, and we generally connect it with API, and then that allows us to stipulate our own guardrails and safeguards. These models that we use via the API to connect to our own tool, they tend to be a bit more raw. They have less fine-tuning, less reinforcement learning from human feedback. They tend to be a bit closer to the base level model because it's up to the developer to mold that into a usable tool depending on what they are building. We don't want an overly molded model because it will limit what we can do with it when we build an application. What's happened in this case is a non-developer got access to one of these models, which is closer to a large language model. Base level large language models are the Wild West. Until safeguards and rules are put into place, they will spout a lot of nonsense. So what's happened here is somebody who's not a developer has got access to a base level model and has got offended because she's obviously typed a question about herself and it's come up back with an answer. So what Google has said is you're using the wrong model. You shouldn't have been messing around with a developer level model and you don't really understand it. So this is on you. That's the first thing they said. We've now seen report of non-developers trying to use Gemma in AI Studio and ask it factual questions. We never intended this to be a consumer tool or model or to be used this way. So they're basically saying this is not what it is for. But then they say to prevent this confusion, access to Gemma is no longer available on AI Studio. So AI Studio is the thing I just showed when we were talking about vibe coding, allows you access to their models in a sandbox environment when you are building out tools. It's a really cool portal that they've created. However, it does make it more accessible for non-developers, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes they're going to get in and get access to models. They're going to query it about themselves, get answers they don't like, and then they're going to write letters to the CEO and get it pulled from AI Studio. So it's a very interesting piece of news, not because of what the model did. That's to be expected. Anyone who uses AI enough knows that it hallucinates, it can go wrong, especially a model like Gemma, which is closer to a base level large language model. What's interesting is the chain of events and the fact that it led to Google pulling it from AI Studio. This is the tension between making models widely available for developers, for people who are creating with artificial intelligence, whilst protecting the consumer who doesn't understand these things. Google has decided to take the safe path in this particular case. I'm going to hop over to some questions, see where we are. Are there any free annual Perplexity Pro promo subscriptions going anywhere at the moment? Yes, we just talked about this. If you Google PayPal Perplexity Pro, there is the Perplexity Pro with PayPal, exclusive for PayPal users. Get a free year of Pro completely free when you connect your PayPal account and choose a valid billing method. The one thing I would say is it needs to be a new Perplexity account. If you already have a Perplexity Pro account, then it won't work. But you can make a new one using a new email if you really want. Also, it will be $20 a month after 12 months. Either you pay it at that point or cancel the subscription before then. It's Google Perplexity Pro with PayPal, and that will turn up. This stream is not sponsored by Perplexity Pro. They just keep popping up. Go ahead and grab that. It's really cool because it allows you access to all of the other models. It gives you access to ChatGPT, the latest version, so GPT-5, Claude, Gemini, etc., etc. That's so funny that you asked because it just got mentioned bizarrely. I'm happy to talk about it again because it's a really good deal. Let's have a look. Yeah, we'll do Iceland. Why not? So Anthropic, who create Claude, and they're one of my favorite models, have teamed up with Iceland, the country, and announced the world's first national AI education pilot. Pretty cool. Today, Anthropic and Iceland's Ministry of Education and Children are announcing a partnership to bring Claude to teachers across the nation, launching one of the world's first comprehensive national AI education pilots. This will give teachers from every region of Iceland, from Reykjavik to the most remote villages, access to advanced AI tools as the country explores how artificial intelligence can transform education. Are they giving it to all teachers? No, they're not. Hundreds of teachers across all of Iceland. Using all of Iceland is quite tricky here, or quite sneaky, because it makes it feel like they're giving it to all the teachers. But I think it's hundreds of teachers, but they will be given access to Claude. And the pilot, it's actually going to be a study, will explore how AI can benefit Icelandic schools, support teachers in their instruction, and enhance student learning. So very cool, and it's nice to see AI being pushed forward in the public sector in these areas, and Claude is probably the best for this job as well. They're giving them free AI education. I think watch this space to see whether this helps the teachers, because I'm sure if it does, then the rest of the Icelandic teachers will be given access, and then we'll probably see other education boards picking it up as well. Now, this is for teachers specifically to help them with admin, producing lesson plans, etc. All of the teachers that I know use AI. They're expected to do all of this admin outside of their day job. So people are leaning on AI to help with those tasks. It's great to see it being officially adopted by a nation, or at least a pilot program. Claude being the good guys pushing forward this kind of project. Let me hop over to PewDiePie, or Felix Shelbourne. PewDiePie, you might know who PewDiePie is. I used to watch his video gaming YouTube streams. PewDiePie, or Felix Shelbourne, is, or was, a YouTuber who did video game streaming. He was one of the very early ones, actually. You've probably seen him screaming at a horror game. Even if you didn't watch him, you'll recognize him. He basically made so much money and did so well from YouTube that he's retired. He is in his 30s and living in Japan with his girlfriend Matsuya. And the newest thing that he's doing is he's built himself a local LLM. He's hosting his own AI. So here are the what's he's done. He's built a 10x490 rig. Now, how much is a 490 at the moment? A 490 is a couple of £1,000. Let's say £2,000-ish. There's different types. So that's probably £20,000, a £20,000, $20,000 computer. So he's built himself that, which is running Llama 70B, GPT OSS, which is ChatGPT's open source model, and Qwen locally via VLLM. And he's built a custom web UI for chat, RAG, search, TTS, and he's been running protein folding simulations for charity, created an AI council, a swarm of 64 models to help him, and he's now fine-tuning his own model. Importantly, he's showing the process on YouTube. It's not as popular as his gaming videos, but he still has a large audience, and he's showing people out there, hey, you can do this yourself. Obviously, he's built himself a £20,000 machine, but you can still do versions of this on a much smaller scale. Because he has that popular reach, people are realizing this is something they can also do, which I think is really cool. The newsletter is a 26-minute long video with 3 million views. Let's see what the comments are. Very cool. I was wondering if it would be people saying AI is bad, you need to stop using AI, but no, the comments are very supportive. So I'm going to put this in the newsletter. Definitely have a look at it. This is really exciting because he's basically running through how he put together a local language model and how he's running it in his home himself. which is something that we can all do. It's just you need to go through the learning process, and he's breaking it down. So I think very cool. And again, you don't need $20,000 worth of machinery. You can do it with much less, especially if you are not training your own models, but you are just using models that you download like OSS, like Qwen, and like Llama models. Speaking of, I wanted to again flag up a resource that I talked about last Thursday, which is the Hugging Face training playbook, the secrets to building world-class LLMs. I've been working my way through it myself, and it's fantastic. Definitely check it out. I will put it again in the newsletter with this Felix Shelbourne PewDiePie story so that you can check it out. But if this is something that you are interested in, either deploying a model locally on your computer, which doesn't require that much processing power because you are just running the model, you're doing inference, you're not training. That's one thing you can do, and I'll give you some resources on how to do that. Or if you want to train your own large language model, the video by Felix and this small training playbook will show you how. That requires more GPU power for sure. You do not need to do what Felix Shelbourne did and buy 10, 40, 90 cards, because you can rent server space, do your training for a couple of $100, and then have that model back on your home computer. It's a more technical aspect of artificial intelligence, but it is less complicated than you might think, because there are tools like Hugging Face, for example. There are guides like this which basically walk you through step by step. Even if you want to do it as a hobby project, just to see how these things work and to understand what companies like OpenAI are doing, obviously they're doing it on a much larger scale, but it's fundamentally similar. These resources will be really useful. So I'll put them in the newsletter. Newsletter again will come out every single day. So the next one will be tomorrow at 8 a.m. Right, I think I've covered most of the topics for today. I'm going to hop back to TikTok and see if there's any other questions. Jay Moore, I'm very interested in this subject. Definitely check out the newsletter tomorrow. I'll throw a few resources in there, including this training playbook, which is really good. It's still technical for sure, but it's written in such a way that if you have patience, if you're willing to look up various topics, maybe chat with ChatGPT about, hey, what is this? What's this part about? I don't understand this part. You can work your way through, which is rare, because a lot of beginners' guides lose people because they're written by engineers who don't know how to explain these concepts in simple terms. But this particular training book from Hugging Face is really good. I'll add it to the newsletter. Everything is going to be on YouTube. There will be edited versions of these videos. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm not logged in. I think we're approaching 9,000. The goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, which is very rapidly diminishing. So if you're not subscribed on YouTube, please do. That really helps me, and it makes doing this every day worthwhile. Your support is much appreciated. The newsletter comes out every single day, which is a written summary of what's provided in the live. It's an easier way to get your news without having to watch live or an hour worth of YouTube videos. You can get the bullet points plus all of the links to the resources that I have covered inside the live. So I'll give you the PayPal, the free Perplexity Pro subscription link. I'll give you the Felix Shelbourne or PewDiePie video, as well as this small training handbook and any other resources mentioned. So make sure you're subscribed there as well. There's a link in my bio, totally free, and hopefully that's going to be useful for you as well. Great. Fantastic to be back. I'm well rested after my holiday. So it's the final push towards the end of the year, and I'm personally very excited. Thank you guys, and I will see you